Okay, so yan, good afternoon sa inyo at welcome sa isa na namang araw dito sa
PGS Spring Season 2040, and today we'll be your Shoutcasters. I'm Jay.
At ako po si Kajo. So good afternoon po sa inyo lahat. Fortunately, sa lahat ng nag-aantay kay GG.Sphere, siya po ay medyo busy ngayon.
Yes, that's right.
So medyo ako naman ng inyong lingkod.
So
right. Ayan, Jay, sinong magkalaban today?
Yeah, so the games today will be between Wargods versus the MSI EvoGT. So they're gonna have two games, one at 5. We're a little bit late, so it'll probably start around 5:15. And then the second game will probably start around 6 or 6:15.
Okay, so ayan, again, it's Wargods versus MSI EvoGT. Sa lahat ng mga fans dyan ng Wargods at fans ng MSI, onting tiis na lang mag-start na tayo. We're just waiting for some more members of MSI to go inside the game room, then mag-start na tayo. And so far, nakita nyo sa screen natin ang ating standings. Okay, so Wargods and Imperium has the top slot right now with 4 wins in 4 games played. Okay.
Actually, it's not 4 wins. It's the pointing system is if the team wins 2 games in a row, they earn 3 points. If they split the wins 1-1 to the other team, they earn 1 point.
Sa clarification. And so, ayun. So, recap tayo. So far, Wargods and Imperium are now leading based on points. 4 games played, and they both have 4 points, followed by CM Storm with 3 points. And then the rest, Mineski, Manila Eagles, and MSI EvoGT are to follow.
That's right. Right, so that's the standings right now for the PGS right now, and of course, Wargods right now doing a really good job being at the top of the standings right now. Of course, tied with the other team. Hope to probably push this lead to even further. And this is actually MSI's first game this series, so this is also something MSI wants to win, so they can catch up with the other teams in the PGS.
Okay, so it could work in 2 ways. It's either Wargods could take the lead or MSI could be Wargods' greatest upset, knowing that hindi pa sila naglalaro. Their cards are not yet set on the table. That's so we'll see kung anong surprises na meron sila ngayong hapon na to.
Yes, actually in the previous weeks, Wargods, JLC has been doing a lot of good top laning on Jax, and
yung Jax niya for napanood ko yun. Game 1 and Game 2, that Jax really dominated the lane.
I was actually surprised hindi nila binan ng second game, especially especially we all know Jax pag late game sobrang hyper carry na yan. Ang hirap na patayin.
Isa lang masasabi ko, ang kate.
sobrang kate.
Okay, and we'll see. So lesson learned from last week. The biggest question here is, knowing that JLC can play well in Jax, would MSI ban
the Jax?
That's right. So
hindi
yan ang kailangan nating antabayanan ngayon. So again, sa lahat ng mga nanonood ng stream natin ngayon, magandang hapon sa inyo lahat. Game 1 pa lang tayo. We're just waiting for some members of MSI EvoGT to log in to the game, and then mag-start na tayo. Okay?
That's right. So while we're waiting, maybe I'll talk about the Smart GameX coming from Smart. Now, this feature coming from Smart is actually very helpful sa mga summoners natin, lalo na kung kailangan nila ng load at gusto nila bumili ng load para sa mga in-game skins and in-game champions or other items na nabibili ng RP. Now, so itong GameX na to, how do you do this? What you have to do is, first you need to have own, or probably you could borrow someone's Smart, Token Text, or Sun Cellular subscriber cell phone, and of course, with that cell phone number, you go to the website of GameX, tapos ipapunch mo yung cell phone mobile number mo. Tapos pag pinansin mo nun, kailangan mo i-select yung game na, of course, gusto natin ang League of Legends, di ba? Number 1 yan sa Pilipinas na yon. So, after selecting League of Legends, so, pag sinend mo yun, may ma-receive kang verification code. Now, pag punch mo ng verification code, may ma-receive kang pin, and ayun yung magagamit mo sa game.
So, no need to go, kunyari mga tipong alas 12 ng hating gabi, nagkaroon ng sale. Kasi hindi ka pinapayagan ng nanay mo, huwag kang lalabas ng bahay, anak, gabing-gabi na. So, yan ang the best na option that you have. Is that go to the website, enter your phone number, and then wala, may load ka na. So sa lahat ng mga summoners natin dyan na nag-aantay, lalong-lalo na doon sa mga mahilig mangolekta gaya ko ng skins, this is one of the best options that we have right now. So again, thank you very much, GameX.
That's right. Also actually, pag wala rin load yung store, di ba? Paminsan nauubusan din ng load eh. So pwede ka magpa-load sa phone mo, tapos dun ka magpa-load.
Isipin mo, hindi ka nalalabas na mamamasahe ka, pupunta ka ng kung saan
malayo.
Nandun ka na sa bahay mo.
Exactly.
Just, since may internet ka naman, just do some clicks, and then you're done.
Voila. Exactly. Thank you, Smart, for giving us this feature. And thank you also kay Razer for providing our reptiles for this season, no?
Ngayon lang ako nakahawak ng parang hindi sanay yung tenga ko mag-carry ng gantong klaseng ano.
Masyadong
ano, ang magandang term, masyadong sagrado yung gamit. Baka mamaya magasgasang pa lang. Ayan. At syempre binabati natin. Okay, bago tayo magsimula, I would like to greet someone very very special. Ang isa sa mga staffs ng Garena.
Yes,
okay, GG.Sphere Jay, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday boss, Mr. Sir Ragin. Birthday niya na yun. At syempre, wala kaming handa pero siya naghanda para sa atin. Sobrang bait talaga ni Boss Ragin.
Sasayaw na lang daw ako mamaya.
Sige. Kami tutugtog.
Okay, again, onting antay lang sa mga nanonood dito sa ating stream. Okay, we're just waiting. Isang member na lang ng MSI EvoGT ang ating inaantay. Then good to go na tayo. Again, this afternoon we have 2 games for PGS. It's between Wargods and MSI EvoGT.
Alright, so actually, I believe this is the 3rd week Wargods is actually playing in the tournament, and si MSI, like I mentioned a while ago, first nila to. So very important para kay MSI to, para to get their foot into the game. Kasi if they don't win their first games, their first 2 games, wala pa silang points.
Ano yan, momentum yan eh. Kasi exactly. If you are going straight in wins, if your mind is in the condition, medyo mahirap nang tanggalin yan eh.
Oo. Tsaka, like you said, momentum, malalo na si MSI, dire-diretso na yung laro nila all the way to the end of the PGS. They will have a game every week, so definitely they need to start as early as now.
So, yeah. And predictions as of now, do you have any gut feels kung sino ang mananalo?
Actually, it's really hard to say kasi we don't know what MSI have been doing. They have a lot of time to practice since they're the last team to play in the PGS.
And napanood din nila yung ibang laban.
Napanood din nila yung mga laban. So they could have studied yung mga galaw ng Wargods, diba?
So probably we could say that the edge in terms of research and in terms of preparation is on the side of MSI right now.
That's right.
But knowing Wargods, how they been able to win some series of weekends here in PGS, it is also an advantage for them with regards to the player experience.
That's
so you have an advantage on paper and you have an advantage based on actual gameplay. So tingnan natin kung sino ang mas mabigat doon sa dalawa ngayong hapon na to.
Ayun nga, just like you said, parang makina yan eh. Medyo napainit na si Wargods eh.
Parang diesel.
Oo, parang no first week naka 1-1 sila, pero the following week go na.
Nakuha na.
Ayan, so this week let's see if they'll continue that or medyo baka tumirik. Tingnan natin kung ano ba talaga gagawin ng Wargods this week.
Yes. So ayan, both teams are now inside the game room. We're just waiting for the start button to be pressed and magsisimula na tayo sa ating banning picks. I couldn't say much about both teams, pero yun nga, we have to take note that kailangan makita natin dito if makakalusot yung jacks ni ni JLC dito. If ever na makalusot sila, I guess that MSI is prepared for that. If not, makikita natin ang babansa ngayong hapon na to.
That's right. So this will be a very interesting match. We're going to see how good Wargods really are, especially at this first game of the MSI EvoGT. Or let's see if MSI has some tricks up their sleeve para i-surprise yung mga Wargods, para pakita na kung kaya yung mga malakas na teams, kaya rin namin kayo.
Oh, so tingnan natin. Kasi so far, based on what I've seen in the past posts since the game last week, medyo there have been a lot of players and the local community has been focusing on Wargods right now, seeing that they are capable na sumabay sa ating especially sa mga top teams din natin dito sa PGS.
Alright, so we're just waiting for them to start the game. Medyo nag-aayos yata sila ng game right now.
Medyo kailangan lang nilang ayusin. So ayan, medyo dadaldal muna kami ng sobra. And again, if you have any, sa mga let's make this a little bit interactive. Sa mga nanonood at nagko-comment sa stream, sino sa tingin nyo ang mananalo ngayong hapon na to?
Alright.
Ayan, tingnan natin. Kasi kahit ako excited ako eh. Ngayon ko lang first things first, Wargods is on their winning streak. Second, MSI hasn't played yet. So medyo wild para sa akin, wild pa eh. Parang Pokemon. Wild pa yung kanilang pwedeng dalhin eh. Malaking question mark kung anong klaseng playstyle yung meron sila, kung anong metagame yung kaya nilang i-introduce, or would they go for a standard comfort pick, or would they go another step forward to bring us another different kind of lineup to
Ayun, so based sa stream natin, mukhang maraming Wargods fan dyan. As you can see, ang daming spam, Wargods daw ang mananalo.
Ayan, so yeah. Tingnan natin.
Wala bang mga MSI fans dyan? Wala bang no one cheering for the MSI
especially,
team?
nakikita natin that talagang tumatak na sa kanila si JLC, knowing that
si JLC.
Yung Jax talaga niya is hindi na medyo talagang masakit talaga.
Oo, talaga. Especially, tsaka even on the one-on-one sa top lane niya sa start ng game, he's doing very well. Hindi siya nahihirapan.
I was thinking nung simula that yung capability, kasi as a Jax player, pre-level 6, until you have your ultimate, you just play safe
Exactly.
But the difference between playing a normal Jax and the Jax of JLC, the biggest difference that early game pa lang, pre-level 6, ang aggressive niya.
Oo.
So talagang confidence level, parang may term na tinatawag diyan, yung simula pa lang bago pa magsimula yung laro or nagsisimula pa lang yung laro, nagkakaroon na agad ng aura. So it's more on probably a psychological sabihin nating psychological warfare, in which kahit na alam mong dominant yung champion mo sa simula, if you're being shown a very aggressive stance and that it is consistent, parang ang hirap pasukin yung yung tempo, parang sa boxing. Kapag naset na ng kalaban mo yung tempo, as ikaw sumusunod ka na lang, parang you have to find another way to adjust to the situation. And that yun yung hindi nagawa nung katapat ni JLC at that time.
Tsaka, what I'm really impressed with JLC is na he's able to manage his mana very well on Jax. As we know, medyo mana hungry si Jax, especially sa early levels, diba?
Sakto yung niya. Sabi natin, although his playstyle in terms of mana consumption is not that conservative, but rather more practical. So given the situations, doon lang siya gumagamit ng skills. Hindi siya yung talagang
he makes every skill count kasi yun yung problema, you waste like 2 or 3 skills on mana and wala kang damage na nilayout dun sa kalaban. Loss of mana yun so mahirapan ka talaga.
So ayan, lesson, panibagong insight yan sa mga gusto mag-aspire maging pro gamer. Siguraduhin nyo, this is one of the practices that you have to make. Lahat ng galaw nyo dapat walang tapon.
Ayun na, so actually we're starting to see there's some MSI fans now shouting out in our chat right now, as we can see. Ayan na, mukhang magiging mainit na laban na to.
So yeah, advice lang din sa lahat ng manonood ng stream, you could chant, you could say your comments, but keep it wholesome. So this is
yes. No
as much
swearing.
as possible. Huwag kayong magka-curse.
GP lang tayo, sir.
Cool lang tayo. Chill lang tayo, okay? No cursing, please. Thank you. Okay. Eto yan.
Ayun, so meron lang tayong reminders coming from our operator, Dave. Now, tomorrow, don't forget to like our Facebook page, Pro Gaming Series. Please like and share nyo sa mga friends nyo. And tomorrow, before our PGS matches tomorrow, we're gonna have an ARAM game. Yun, mukhang exciting yan. Kasi parang, all you have to do is share our link in the page, and from there we will select a few players to join us in an ARAM game. Kami ni Debo, or if you're here tomorrow, pwede ka rin mag-join in.
Hindi, sasali ako, hindi ako pupunta dito, maglalaro ako.
Isi-shoutcast namin yung ARAM game na yun live. So makikita ng mga tao na makikita na you guys will be seen by the other people or the other summoners na naglalaro ng ARAM para makita nyo yung mga skills nyo. So, if you're interested in joining, don't forget to follow the instructions dun sa Facebook webpage natin. Tapos, tomorrow, if you're the lucky pick, if you get picked by one of our lucky summoners who get picked, then you can join that ARAM game.
So, ayun. So, basically, all you have to do is like and share, okay, the Facebook announcement with regards to the event, and it's a random draw. So 10 players will be chosen and ila-live stream po yung laban nyo. And hopefully, it would be fun for everyone. So ARAM yan, medyo talagang blow by blow. Blow by blow talaga yan. Wala nang analysis dyan. It's all intense. The members of both teams to start, and good to go na tayo. Again, sa lahat ng mga nanonood, you're watching PGS 2014 Week 3, Day 1. Right. It's MSI versus Wargods.
Alright, so we're about to start na actually. All we're just waiting for is for the teams to be able to go into the game, and then once that's finished, yun na, magsisimula na tayo. As we can see, all the players are already actually logged in right now. At pumapasok na sila. I think we're about to start the game. So we're just waiting for them to start the game. While we're waiting, regarding MSI, I believe medyo matagal na silang team, medyo veteran team na rin sila.
MSI, as far as I know, MSI has been around since LOL started. So we have although this is the latest group, as far as I remember, yung mga players from the other pro teams have came from MSI as well. You have yes. Iya, kailangan ko ba i-mention? Pero yun nga, nonetheless, okay, kung sa mga talaga nasusubaybay dyan sa ating LOL community since day one, since beta testing pa lang, MSI is one of the, para siyang if you would, para siyang TSM ng Pilipinas. Yung talagang matagal na.
Okay.
This is one of the core teams that have been active in almost every tournament that there is. Mapa local, mapa online man yan or on-site.
And actually, they've had some strong finishes in some of the tournaments, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
They've placed a few first places, maybe 2 or 3, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
And ayan, onting kembot na lang tayo. Inaantay na lang natin na mag-settle down yung mga players and we are about to start. Again, sa lahat ng mga nanonood, eto na tayo. Speaking of start, the game has been pressed and resume na tayo.
Alright, so on the blue side, we are gonna have Wargods. Of course, our top laner will be Wargods JLC. Then our jungler will be Wargods Stronger. Wargods Trevor will be our mid lane. Wargods Ochi and Wargods Boy for our bot lane. Now,
mga players
for
again sa lahat ng mga nanonood. Okay. So
for our MSI, of course, although they're not using their real names, the top lane will be using the name Good Memories rather, and then their jungler will be SC Miyaki 21. And then MSI EvoGT EDG.TNC, Ling Min Young, and Crack the Code will be their bot lane.
Okay, so sa lahat ng mga hindi nakakasubaybay, ito, bans tayo for this afternoon. Ban ng Wargods is Evelyn and Leona. And ban so far, ban ng Team MSI is Carmen Elise. Leona, hindi na ako magtatanong dito as so far as what we see, Leona is the number 1 most picked support. Second to second si Tresh and third si Annie.
That's right.
So hindi na ako magtataka dito and knowing ito, this is rather a jungle and a support fight. So pinigilan nilang magkaroon ng pinigilan nilang both teams are focusing priorities, especially sa jungle. One, the jungles are the initiators as for season 4 and the 4.2 patch. And the supports are also essential, very very essential pagdating naman sa team fight. So tingnan natin kung ano ang mangyayari.
Yeah, actually, so we're on the 4.2 patch right now, and actually 4.3 has been released already in NA. So there's a bilis ng change ng patches lately. As we can see, they're really adjusting. Like we're gonna expect some nerfs from Doran Shield and a few other items which will make the support role a little bit more interesting, especially since now very popular pick na yun ang Doran Shield as a starting item for support. So ito naman si Lulu, of course, a very popular pick right now, normally played in the mid lane more often than support, but of course once in a while we still see Lulu being picked up as a support.
So hindi pa rin nalalatag yung cards dito ng Wargods, knowing that Lulu is a versatile champion. You could go either mid lane or bot lane.
Ay, Kadyo, alam ko na pipili ng Wargods to. Jax na naman, may Lulu, hindi na ban.
In the event na piliin ng Wargods ang Jax dito, I guess that Team MSI is prepared for that. So, ang tanong dyan, sino ang itatapat nila? Yan. So far, first and second pick natin for Team MSI, we have Pantheon and Caitlyn. What can you say about this?
Well, of course, Pantheon now is, although in solo queue we always see Pantheon on top lane, pero in pro leagues, most of the time, especially now, ginagamit siya sa jungler kasi yung ultimate niya is very superior in terms of gagging potential because he's able to jump about 1/4 of the map in distance. So, sobrang dali niya mag-initiate or parang i-trap yung mga lanes sa pag-back. Especially, we've seen it done many times na how effective Pantheon can be. Of course, bad Grand Skyfalls could also lead to disasters at the same time. So,
given used properly, maganda utilization niya. Pero kapag mali ang paggamit,
patay
kang bata ka. And so far, wow! Personal, hindi na ako tatanggi. This is one of my personal favorites as my personal favorite champion, Nunu. So, it's been a while since we saw Nunu in the Pro League since season 3. Although he has been into a lot of adjustments, especially with the consume, hindi pa rin siya ganun na-utilize sa professional tournaments. So this is an interesting thing.
Yung Season 3, he was popular as a top pick. But then they nerfed him because he's sobrang OP siya sa top pick kasi nobody could handle him because of his
sustainability.
Exactly. So, because of that nerf, we lost sight of Nuno in the Season 3. Medyo nawala na siya. Pero no Season 2, medyo madalas din siya gamitin as support.
Yes. Yan yung combo nila, Vayne and Nuno, the Blood Boil, instant attack speed, plus the proc of the third skill as far as the silver bullets are very painful. So kung kahit gaano ka kakunat, kapag tinamaan ka ni Vayne na sobrang bilis tumira, medyo masakit. On the other hand naman, we're seeing here that Team MSI has locked in Thresh and Ziggs.
That's right.
Medyo, we're seeing here that dalawa ang semi-global, champions ng Team MSI. So we're looking at a massive response
from MSI.
So it's this is wow! Seryoso ba to?
Mukhang magiging protect the Vayne to
Seryoso ba to? Ayan. So medyo nagbago ata sila na isip. And then last 4th and 5th pick for Wargods, we have Gragas and LeBlanc.
Alright, so looking at that lineup, I'm thinking probably Gragas top, maybe tank, LeBlanc mid, jungle Nunu, and then support Lulu with Vayne.
When you go jungle Nunu, bigla akong na-excite kasi
double smite.
Yes, the double smite capability here of Wargods is seen. So, you could predict na dito sa picks nila, this is more on an objective-based team composition.
And actually, Nunu, Vayne, they can baron together. Silang dalawa lang. Kaya nilang baron.
Dalawa lang. And you can see here, objective-based. So, they are more or less showing that they're showing Team MSI that, hey, we are going to control the dragon and we are going to control the jungle and we are going to control the baron. So this is all their potential for an early game buff steal is very, very prominent. And we're seeing here that Team MSI on the other hand is going for a mid-game gank heavy, clash heavy team composition. So tingnan natin kung ano yung magiging calls nito kasi early game hindi na ako magdadalawang isip, advantage to para sa Team Wargods. But mid-game, in the event na masustain ng MSI yung pressure, kung ma-overcome nila yung pressure ng Wargods early game, they could fight back and slowly gain the advantage.
Actually, good pickup from MSI. I think this Trundle's going to be the top lane facing up with the Gragas. And Trundle's actually a very good tank killer. And I do expect probably the Gragas to be the main tank of Wargods here. And although Gragas still hurts a lot, especially in the early levels, since he deals both physical and magic damage, and does a lot of it at the early stages, this will be dangerous for Thunder. But once he hits a few levels, once he bites Gragas, syempre mananakaw niya yung mga resistance ni Gragas, medyo makakabalik siya ng damage, of course.
And in defend that Trundle gets an early advantage going for the Hydra.
Exactly.
Kapag nakuha na niya yung kanyang Ravenous Hydra, mahirap-hirap na ang laning, although they could go split push and they could clear the minion wave fast. Sustainability wise, I would still go for
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for a Blade of the Ruined King kasi if you look at it, Vayne, Nunu, and Lulu, imagine the speed boost coming from both those champions. Vayne will be so fast and it will be very hard, even with the pillar coming from Trundle, it will be very hard for them to chase him. So I expect maybe a Blade of the Ruined King to steal some of that speed away from Vayne so that they can gap close, especially Pantheon Skyfall, Grand Skyfall will be very hard to hit on Vayne with the amount of movement speed that Vayne will have with Nunu and Lulu support.
Pero yun nga, we're seeing here that although yes, Jax has not been picked, medyo they tried to stay away from the sabi na afterglow of last week's game. Even though Pantheon goes for a Grand Skyfall and connects, you have their two good disengages coming from Wargods. You have the ultimate of Gragas and the ultimate of Lulu. And in the event na magkamali sila dito, yung ultimate naman ni Nunu, given na tama yung positioning mo, especially if you hide in the bush, although as not a 100% AP build yung susundin mo, it would still hurt a lot kasi when you cast the ultimate of Nunu, may slow na nangyari. So this would reduce a lot of mobility and a lot of positioning para sa Team MSI. Yun nga lang, okay, you have to still consider the global presence of two of the champions of Team MSI. You have their Ziggs with that poke range ability of the bouncing bombs, and of course Caitlyn, alam naman natin lahat na isa sa mga pinakamahaba yung range given next to Tristana. And then last but not the least, Panchon. Add-ons na lang yung kay Thresh, given na kung kayang makapagpitas, medyo alanganin dito ang Team Wargods, knowing that only Gragas is their tank for this game tonight.
With the Thresh and the Pantheon, I expect na parang pag na death sentence ni Thresh, pumasok siya at ibabox niya, mas madali i-land yung Grand Skyfall ni Pantheon. Kasi syempre, all that slow and that hook will definitely give enough time for Pantheon to come in and drop his Grand Skyfall and stun whichever member they focus. Of course, we expect the Vayne, LeBlanc will be very slippery, of course, with her being able to dash from left to right, and with her distortion, of course. It's really hard to focus down LeBlanc, and I expect LeBlanc to do a lot of roaming at the early levels, especially since she does very good at assassination. And Ziggs is very strong in lane pushing, so he'll probably need some help coming from his jungler, which will be Nunu. I don't really expect that Ziggs to have a hard time laning against LeBlanc at the early levels.
One of the best strategies dito, yun nga, speaking of early game threat, dito lalo si LeBlanc pag nag-level 6. What could Ziggs do here is that pressure the lane, shove it up dun sa tower, habang para hindi maobliga para hindi magkaroon ng opportunity makapag-roam si LeBlanc dito.
And of course, follow up with his Mega Inferno Bomb dun sa wherever they decide to clash.
So this is although yun nga, it's very clear that Wargods has a lineup based on objectives. If it could be also used against them. Kung mauunahan dito ng MSI ang Wargods na i-secure yung mga positions, if they are able to shove the lane, preventing Wargods to rotate properly to get the dragon, kung ang top lane masyadong push, kung ang mid lane napupush din, at hindi sila if they go for an objective and those lanes are pushed, they might sacrifice towers just to get a dragon, or just to get a blue buff, or just to get a baron. So tingnan natin ang mangyayari again sa lahat ng mga nanonood. You're watching PGS 2014
Spring Season.
Yan, week 3 na tayo at unang araw.
That's right.
Okay, para sa weekend battles natin today. So ayan, sa lahat ng mga nanonood, game 1 pa lang to. Game 1 pa lang to.
Right, so yan, so 2 games, if you win both games, 3 points ang ma-receive ng team. If you win 1 and the other team gets 1, tig isang point kayo.
So talagang mas malaking advantage talaga kung ma-sweep mo, kasi katumbas nun 3 laban.
Exactly.
And medyo makakahinga-hinga ka na ng maayos-ayos nun. And so far, we're just waiting for the game to load. Again, lineups for Wargods. We have JLC playing as Gragas, Stronger playing as Jungle Nunu, Trevor as mid lane LeBlanc, Ochi as Vayne, and their support Poi playing as Ludo.
Yes, alright. So for MSI, we've got Pantheon in the jungle, Caitlyn and Ziggs at the Caitlyn and Thresh at the bottom lane. Major Ziggs will be placed in the mid lane, and we've got Trundle in the top lane.
Ayan, so tingnan natin. Ayan, marami nang nag-chat. Sino sa tingin nyo ang mananalo ngayong hapon, na nakita nyo na yung lineups ng both teams? Ayan, ako, na-intriga na ako.
Exactly. Actually, si Trevor, gustong-gusto niya itong LeBlanc eh. Previously, I remember the last time he used LeBlanc, sobrang lakas niya talaga dun sa game na yun. Tsaka sobrang talagang hirap niya patayin. I think he only had like 2 or 3 deaths that game.
Kasi yun nga, speaking of LeBlanc, as long as you have mana, parang kang magician, bigla ka nawawala.
Exactly.
Tapos biglang kala mo dun pala, tapos malilipat pala dun sa kabila. So, this is all about champion knowledge. Alam nyo talaga yung ins and outs, how to manipulate or how to maximize the potential of the champion that he is using. Yun nga lang, we also have here MSI, which is medyo big question mark in terms of performance as of now in PGS. Okay, so tingnan natin kung how would they adapt given the situation.
Yeah, actually their lineup is pretty solid. I'm really happy with the picks coming from MSI. So they're starting out their season with a very strong, simple pick, very meta. This is really actually the meta, although we don't see that many Trundles in the top lane. He is still a fallback champion to a lot of top laners who who go against tanks like Gragas and Shyvana and Renekton. Of course, it really depends on how they play the top lane, as all the champions here could Nasa skills lang talaga yan at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what champion you use eh.
So, ayan. We are already, sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa atin, we are already inside the game and we're just waiting for the game to start. Na-pause lang yata to make some minor adjustment probably sa mga key bindings and resolutions and settings. Pero nonetheless, simula na tayo. Game 1 ngayong hapon, and sa lahat ng mga nanonood, good afternoon pa. Okay. Good afternoon sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Kajo and
ako si Jay.
Ayan, sa lahat na naghahanap kay GG.Sphere.
He's somewhere.
Ako po, proxy po ako. Although hindi po ako kagandahang lalaki katulad ni GG.Sphere, I'll do my best. Okay, para pasayahin kayong lahat. Hello po. And yan. Okay, so ayan, hindi tayo mauubusan ng sasabihin natin ngayong hapon sa lahat ng mga nagchat-chat dyan. Please keep in mind to keep the chat healthy. Okay? Chill-chill lang tayo. If you have any other comments, suggestions, keep it in a nice way. Siyempre, para lalo tayong mas maging wholesome at mag-improve as a community. So ayan, the game has resumed. Game on na tayo. Blue team played by Wargods versus Team MSI on the purple team. So tingnan natin kung ano mangyayari.
Actually, this is surprising. I thought the Gragas was gonna go tank, but he decided to go AP instead. So
yes,
it's gonna be a double AP comp. But of course, the other AP of Wargods is more of a utility-based champion.
So seeing the initial stats of Wargods JLC sa mga naghahanap dyan sa Point Jacks last week. So ito ang kanyang statistics. Although, yes, he has the Doran Shield 4, siguro probably mana sustain dito. You could see, you have mana penetration and hybrid. So this is a hybrid runes tayo dito. And with cooldown reduction as well. So medyo tweak ang kanyang runes and masteries dito. Probably specific for the lane sustain and the early game dominance.
Yeah, actually he went with armor and magic cooldown reduction. So definitely he just wants to skip spamming his spell. So it is actually sort of a tank build, but instead of a Doran Shield, he went with the Doran Shield. Like you said, for mana sustain.
At yan ang masasabi ko, early game, baliktad ang nangyari. Instead of Wargods being the aggressors, Team MSI are going and trying to invade the jungle. Yun nga lang, nakita lang sila. Good positioning coming from Lulu.
Not getting caught by the death sentence of Thresh a while ago.
Kung sakali mga Poi advance, they're 2 seconds ahead. Medyo delikado yung medyo delikado yung nangyari.
For sure, at least mababurn yung flash. If not, baka first blood pa.
Yes. So far ito, ang kailangan yung bantayan, more or less, we are probably, this game would be focused on the jungle. This is going to be a invasion heavy gameplay. So you have Nunu there. Tingnan natin kung mayu-utilize nga ba yung kanyang quote-unquote double smite potential dito sa game na to.
But actually, yung nurse sa kanya, medyo mas mahina na yung consume niya compared sa smite sa first level. Pero once I think it's the second level, medyo pantay na sila.
And you have to take note, when the consume kills, nakakuha siya ng specific buff based on kung sino yung mapapatay niya.
Yeah, there's buffs from the golems and also from the raid. And also the wolves din, if I'm not mistaken.
Halos lahat talaga makukuha naman ng buff. So tingnan natin kung paano i-utilize to ng Wargods. Bot lane, Thresh versus Caitlyn. Thresh and Caitlyn versus Lulu and Vayne. Anong masasabi?
I expect definitely Caitlyn and Thresh to be the aggressors there because of course, in death sentence and the play will definitely give Vayne a harder time because Vayne very positioning reliant champion yun, diba? He has to be able to free hit at the safe area kasi, well, first range ni Vayne is very short compared to Caitlyn. Second of all, although Lulu has a lot of utility, he doesn't have a hard CP like this. As you can see, he has a very aggressive from bottom lane. Wargods actually down to 1/3 health, so forcing to use his spots as early as now. And although in terms of CS, mukhang medyo Watch is having not a hard time yet with the Caitlyn's CS, so good job coming from Wargods.
So ito, yan, sa lahat ng mga hindi nakakaalam, si Vayne po, although yes, mahina siya sa early game, if magalit ang mid game, para ito yung nagiging fallback ng Wargods eh. Although they have the early game advantage in the jungle, they have a fallback end game that in the event na umabot na past 30 minutes, past 40 minutes, you have their Vayne. Kapag yan, nakaipon ng items, nakakuha ng Phantom Dance, nakakuha ng IA, ay napakasakit. That's right. And so far, we're seeing here that kung makikita mo lang yung rotations ng Wargods dito, they started from blue, went to red, And now, for the bot lane. Ang priority talaga nila dito is the ADR in the support. Same as with MSI, they started with the red, went to the blue, and now Panchon going in, and mukhang wala nang kawala dito si Wargods boy. First blood, death sentence, a follow-up, pero mukhang disengage.
Yeah, they decided not to go for the kill on Ochi. Actually, if they wanted to think baka kaya pa nila, pero just playing safe, pick up the kill, continue farming.
Kung mapapansin mo, napakaganda ng timing nila. Yung pagbaba doon ni Good Memories was just in time na nag-expire yung wards doon sa bush.
Oh, kasi the ward from the trinket the ward of the trinket don't last as long as the regular ward.
So yan, isa sa mga nanonood natin, kailangan orasan yung mag-press, especially dun sa mga nag-play support. Kapag alam nyo ng clear na yung wards, note the jungle, and this would give you an opportunity for a possible gap and a lane advantage.
Very sneaky Panther, sneaky through the bushes though.
Hindi ko rin nakala. I was thinking kanina na makikita siya because of the wards. And then I noticed na magkatabi yung wards ng MSI at saka ng Wargods doon. And what happened was sakto yung pagkaka-zero.
Oh, yun is parang signal parang alam na.
Pagpasok and good position, stun lock at yun. Although, yun nga, nakakuha sila ng first kill. We're seeing here, sinasabi ko, speaking of invasion and ang katimo, sir. Grabe si Nuno talagang nag-flash out ng expansion na hinabot pa rin. You can see the early game advantage in the jungle still in favor of Wargods.
Ito naman the stronger naman ang huli ng Death Sentence coming from MSI in the GT and laying a lot of damage. One hit coming from Dick, double kill.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's a good response coming from Team MSI. Although yes, nakuha nila yung Panther. Having 3 persons participating in 1 kill is a very big advantage para dun sa team na gumawa nun. Why? You have 1 kill for the person na nakapatay and you have 2 assists.
Exactly.
So that would help a lot in the early. So as it stands, score natin 1-2 in favor of Team MSI. Total team goal difference at the 6-minute mark is roughly about 500. More or less, this is based on the assist and gold earned.
Ayun. So actually, looking at the items, si Vayne decided to go for a second Doran swing, provide a little bit more sustain and HP as well.
Yes.
Then naman si Vayne decided to go with Berserker Greaves para mahabol niya yung Vayne and a little bit more damage with the longsword. So,
ayan, sa lahat ng tatanong, bakit dalawang Doran swing? So this is one of the good adjustments, especially when you're an ADR and you feel you're going behind in terms of damage output. So this is a minor tweak that you have to consider, especially kung feeling nyo na-dominate. So good adjustment coming from Wargods also.
Ayun. So basically, very Endurance Blade, although very good, useful siya in terms of the price or the ability to use life, the life heal, or not life heal, but you gain health every time you attack. You have a little HP and you also have additional damage. Although it will slow you down the build, it will also give you more potential damage at the early game. And if you're feeling behind, like you said nga, pag naiiwan ka, please pick Doran.
Parang kapiyan ng iiwan. Bumili ka ng Doran, may HP, may damage, tas may HP per hit pa. So, what can you ask? Sulit na sulit pa yung presyo.
3-in-1 nga.
And so far, we're seeing here, dito naman sa top lane, although yes, Gragas has a hybrid build kanina, kita natin dito na lamang siya sa CS. So, double Doran sa ring dito for the sustain, and it has been so far effective against Randall dahil hindi siya makalapit sa
That's
na
right.
binibitawan ni Gragas.
I expect siguro that Chainwest will be a Sunfire tape para lalo niya ma-shoulder lane even faster and give Randall an even harder time to push back that system.
At ito naman tayo, good gap coming from Team MSI. So wala sa position, overextended si Ziggs doon. Good
Chains
flanking coming from Nunu, and hindi rin nakapaglagay. Although may ward doon si Ziggs, hindi tama yung placement niya, and what happened was nakaikot ng maayos si Nunu para makatulong sa lang.
At saka lalo with Blood Bowl, sobrang bilis talaga yung movement ni Nunu even at low levels. As you can see, he really picked up the shooting, even moving even faster. he can really chase down almost anybody and escape.
Ayan. And speaking of ganking, we have here, sinusubukan sanang i-outplay dito ni Good Memories si Stronger, pero yun nga lang, fast response coming from Wargods, Tremor on the sidelines at yun. Pero habang nangyayari yun, Vayne being killed by Caitlyn dito. The box has been used, although sacrifice dito si Thresh. Double kill para sa ADR.
So 2 for 1 exchange. Yun. So nakuha actually ni Lulu yung buhay ni Thresh. But then, Caitlyn responded by taking down both Vayne and Lulu.
Yes. And before, nakakuha din si Thresh doon ng dalawang assist. So,
that's right.
The death of Thresh has not been put in vain at nakinabang pa siya. So, as it stands, although 4-4 ang score natin, lamang pa rin ang team MSI dito in terms of total gold. But in terms of buffs, jungle buffs, lamang dito ang Wargods.
Actually, the reason why lamang actually yung MSI dito si gold is because of the amount of na like you mentioned kanina, sa Phantom kill, nakatatlong silang assist. Tapos just now nga, naka-double assist din. So, talagang because of that, the little gold that we receive pushes them just a slightly ahead of the other team.
So, still, nasa laning phase pa rin tayo. 10-minute mark ang nakikita natin so far na action nito on the mid lane, the jungle, and the bot lane. Top lane, medyo kalma lang. Kalma lang tayo. And, eto, tingnan natin kung ano bibilihin ni Trundle dito as he goes back home with 1,000 gold in his pocket. Pero mukhang nagbago isip, ayaw pa yata niya.
Actually, I feel like Wargods is actually really happy with what's happening right now. Kasi even though lane is losing her lane a little bit here right now, the rest of the team is winning. And Vayne is really to win the game. She just needs to win the late game. And since as long as the other members of Wargods are winning their lanes, they could be strong enough to protect Vayne later on so that Vayne can do the cleanup.
And eto, medyo delayed ang initiation ng Grand Skyfall natin. Good Memories going back to the jungle after walang tinamaan sa kanyang ultimate. Pero you have to take note, Nunu on the sidelines. Eto na naman tayo. The jungle battle commencing. How would both teams react here? The Thresh Express has been popped at medyo Pantheon leaves for another day.
Yes, good lantern coming from Thresh there. And as you can see, Pantheon, maging malakas siya mag-duel 1-on-1. Dahil sa speed and damage na ginagawa ni Nunu, hindi niya nakatasaparan ng damage ni Nunu. So, and because of that, pinapressure na natin sa Pantheon is slow jumper.
Yes, at yan, nakita natin sa simula. Nung una, parang magtatanong ka, ano ang purpose, bakit binato ni Gragas yung ultimate niya. Tamang calculation, grabe. Mga mathematician din po ang mga naglalaro ng LoL. So, calculated risk, going inside the tower, knowing that he could get a kill, and good burnout coming from Gaga, securing one death of Trundle.
Because of that kill, he was able to pick up the Sunfire Cape. Ayun, so laki ng item advantage right now ni Gragas, especially he has 1 kill advantage and about almost 30 CS advantage.
Yes. Tingnan na, although parehas yung mga we see here that initiation coming from Team Wargods, the box will pop out, pero mukhang alanganin si Kusot. Lulu being cancelled from his ultimate. Yun nga lang, zone out at na-pound lang siya dito at the expense of the AD carry for Team MSI. And killing is free na dito, Trevor flashing out and popping his passive. Samantalang Caitlyn on the chase dito. Although medyo nagkaroon ng confusion doon nila ako sa nagpunta. Boy, running for his life. Ano kaya mangyayari dito? May red buff, hindi siya makakatakbo. And unstoppable na si Caitlyn.
And here the top lane, really the content here, the top lane of MSI.
And dito naman tayo sa bot lane. Mukhang wala nang kawala. Si Vayne dito, wala kang no choice. Samantala, 1-for-1 exchange, napatay si Vayne, napatay si Thresh. But an ADR for an assist, I will still give credit for Team MSI.
Right, as si Gagas, tuloy-tuloy pa rin pag-uwi dito kay Trundle. As you can see, nahihirapan na talaga siya because of the damage na binibigay nito ni Gragas. And his wave clear is so strong na Trundle can't really respond to this
yes, and mapapansin mo talagang nahirapan si Trundle. Bumili na siya ng magic resist item. So, this signals that, hey, you're giving me a hard time, I need to adjust. He plans on the early Rabido side or the Tiamat. Yun nga lang, when he saw that Gragas could go in under the tower range and could really hit that much. It's time for a defensive strategy rather than an offensive one.
Actually, I just like to correct you. He's gonna go for the Blade of the Ruin King like I mentioned a while ago.
Yes.
So yun, he wanted to get ahead, but since he was able to farm enough for the Blade of the Ruin King, like you said, Megatron Cloak muna to negate some of that damage.
Adjust din. And so far, tingnan natin dito kung na kanino ang gold na nakikita natin sa game nito. We have 4,000 for the top lane under Wargods, for almost 5,000 in the mid lane. At medyo iwan ng 1,000 gold dito si Ziggs. On the ADRs naman, Vayne has 3,500 and 5,000 for Caitlyn. So nakikita natin a little bit of an idea kung saang lanes yung nagdo-dominate. So we have 2 lanes for Wargods and 1 lane for Team MSI.
I'm actually surprised that Ziggs is losing to LeBlanc before this game. He should actually have a slight disadvantage even at this level, but like I mentioned a while ago, si Trevor, he's so comfortable at LeBlanc, and because of that, mukhang he's even able to outplay the Ziggs of MSI.
And yun nga, probably MSI, Wargods knows that Ziggs is a hard lane to match. So kaya ang ginawa nila, early game siguro nakita natin na umikot at nag-early gank.
Yes, to help LeBlanc basically get ahead of him.
At grabe ang pangmamama ni JLC dito sa top. Randall being showed up in the tower. Okay, so hindi siya makapormat, hindi siya makatawid. So far, the outer top turret of Team Wargods has not been touched by the minions or by any chance.
Yes, actually, we just saw Pantheon again doing his second grand cycle. He's not connecting to anybody. Members of Wargods were trying to help the bottom lane get aggressive, but MSI was able to back away and disengage the fight.
So this is a good response for Team Wargods, knowing that the Grand Skyfall expansion pumunta sa mid lane. It signaled the support and EDR of Wargods na hey, bakante ang bot lane. Lulu, could you go down here and help us? And yun nga lang, although they tried to make a gank happen, Thresh did a good defensive action.
Medyo naramdaman na siguro niya na makakadive na sila ng mga members ng Wargods.
So yan, sa mga nag-jungle, pakiramdaman yan. Kapag nakita nila yung jungle nasa kabilang lane,
pwede ka na.
Time for signal na yun na kailangan nyo ng pwede na bakante yung ibang lane for you to take action. Ayun, Ziggs medyo uncalled for ultimate dun sa mid lane. Here, Lulu being focus fired here. At makaka-survive ka pa kaya. Isang tira na lang and dominating na dito si Caitlyn. Lulu a little bit late in response. 7-8 na score natin in favor of Team MSI. However, if you would look at the total team goal, Wargods pa rin ang may advantage.
But just by almost nothing actually.
Isang Doran's Blade lang ang natapat.
Or not even actually, baka ilang pots lang. Yes. So anyway, after this happened in the bot lane, Thresh using the Lantern could pull Pantheon in with an excellent death timing, perfect timing na huli niya si Lulu, and then stun coming from Pantheon as soon as he picked up the Lantern and they were able to kill. And
habang nangyayari doon, although Team MSI has secured an objective there, medyo wala nang core, wala na yung outer top turret dito ng MSI, tira na ni Gragas, and further on, nasushove dito si Trundle at hindi pa siya nakaka-contribute sa kanilang team for clashes.
We're seeing here that JLC talaga really deserves being, I think he's second or third in Challenger last week. As you see, sobrang dominating sa lane. He has not yet lost a lane in any of his games. At most, he was even, but most of the time, he's actually always winning the lane. And since most of the, especially the top lane, medyo isolated yan eh. Yes. So, although we can sometimes see junglers na pupunta doon para tumulong ang magang, it's really hard to, especially like a champion like Gragas, hindi talaga patayin yan. Especially pag hindi sila go for them. But since Pantheon is having a hard time with the jungle with the pressure, here we see Gragas using his ultimate to push on the members of MSI back, and Wargods stronger chasing now Trundle laying down his area, and Trevor trying to isolate the members of MSI under the turret.
Yun, so nakita natin doon, Gragas tried to get the red buff, but good smite hit there but by Pantheon. Yun nga lang, masyadong mabilis yung responder rin ng Wargods dito, and even Trundle was forced to use the flash para lang makatakas dun sa jungle invasion na ginawa ng Wargods.
Very mobile kasi yung members ng Wargods. Dash, Gagat and body count. We have that Nightfall. Well, Nightfall targets Tremor, but Tremor was able to catch. They are still bullying the Phantom out of other own turret. And Wargods deciding to disengage. Most of the members are already at half health. And let's see if MSI will try to continue chasing the members of Wargods.
Good death sentence coming from Thresh. Atin natin kung ano mangyari ko. Disengage na nangyari. Re-engage niya. Luno casting is ultimate. Being cancelled out by 6. Atin yun. Oji gets a kill. Pero magkakaroon pa kaya ng follow-up. Medyo alanganin na ang kanilang buhay. And time out muna. Pahinga-pahinga. Score natin 8-8.
Right, so during that last engage si Thresh, medyo sa tingin ko hindi medyo matalino yung ginawa niya. Kasi after death setting, also it was a good hook. Most of his teammates were too far to respond right away, and diving in, knowing the amount of crowd control coming from Lulu and Vayne and LeBlanc, including Lulu, was not really a wise idea to, even though they're at half health, yun nga, nakita ko kill ang Wargods for nothing for MSI.
Probably this is one of the miscommunications when you have the masyado kayong nagkakaroon ng intense adrenaline rush, yung parang feel mo ako stress. Kaya ko pumasok sa loob, okay na to. Sakto yung death sentence ko. Yun nga lang, when you look back, medyo malayo pa yung mga kampi mo, and when you realize that it's what you did was a little advanced from the base plan that you have, there are some consequences that you have to face. And yun nga, LeBlanc again gaining another kill.
Actually, maybe might be due to this of poor communication. Baka kala na ni Thresh na susunod yung buong team niya, but although they did follow, they were just too far talaga to respond to it.
And ito, although ang dami yung ating sinasabi sa mid lane and top lane, bot lane, you have to still watch out for Caitlyn here. 6-0 na score niya. She has the Phantom Dancer, the Bloodthirster. But, okay, pag nag-stack ng attack dito si Vayne, meron na siyang pwede na ruin at nakakapag-free farm sa dito habang the other team members of Wargods are keeping Team MSI busy. Hindi siya nabibigyan ng much attention. Mamaya kapag sumama na makating na to panigurado.
Especially with the food boost coming from Lulu and Lulu. This will be, I expect, excellent fighting coming up.
So 20-minute mark. CS King natin dito goes to Braga with 193 CS. Initiating. Using the ultimate, the box has been pop up by Present. Lulu, sana yung ultimate, medyo madaming tinamaan. Pancho going out for disengage. Ultimate of Lulu going to Lulu. Eto na, Grand Skyfall, tatama ba? At yun, kapul, si Lulu ay namatay. Yun nga lang, 1-for-1 exchange. Na-shutdown pa ni Caitlyn dito si LeBlanc. Miss ang first kill ni Thresh on the chase dito. Team MSI collapsing on Vayne pero nakatakas. At eto naman tayo, nagbago ang isip ni Caitlyn.
Try to chase Gragas.
Gragas on the run. Onting kembot na lang, makakahabol ka pa kaya.
Body slam.
At lumipat ang ating screen pero ibabalik natin dito sa chase. Ano kaya mangyayari? Net has been used by Caitlyn. Gumamit din ng trap. Nasa Tori na mga kaibigan. Ano ang mangyayari? Tapos na ba ang sine? Hindi pa. Gumamit ng first kill. At iyon, medyo pahinga muna. Napagod na po si Caitlyn at uuwi na siya ng base. Pero, huwag kang kukurap. Lulu na naman. Kala ko tapos na. Hindi pa pala. Oh my God.
Medyo gigil si Caitlyn kay Gragas.
Ang tawag po doon, okay, pag nag-chase down kayo na more than 10 seconds, may term po kami tinatawag dyan. Ang tawag dyan ay tunnel vision. Okay, nakikita mo lang yung kalaban, hindi mo na nakikita yung paligid mo at mamaya-maya, medyo delikado yan. Minsan, biglang bumubulaga na sa iyo. Marami na palang kasama at umirest back na. Pero good call for Caitlyn going to the mid lane and taking another objective at yan, sa wakas, ang ating total team gold again volleyed to the other side in favor of Team MSI. 2,000 total team gold.
Yes, actually, looking at the lineup again of Wargods, medyo na-stuck na rin ako sa lineup nila kasi although they have very strong early lane, yung team fight nila, they will solely be relying on the LeBlanc and Vayne for damage. So if members of MSI are able to burst down both Vayne and LeBlanc, I don't see any more damage coming out from Wargods. They will take out the rest of the members of MSI.
Yes, gaya nga na sinasabi ko kanina, early game is the advantage of Wargods. With regards to their lineup, this is an objective-based composition. Yun nga lang, since simula pa lang, pinakita na nila yun yung composition nila. During the picking phase, Team MSI probably psych themselves out that yes, ito yung strategy ng Wargods. Kukuha to ng Dragon, kukuha to ng Baron, mag-i-invade to, unahan na natin. So that is what happened. Although yun nga, top lane had great consequences, nakabawi naman yung bot lane. So far, Caitlyn is performing very well with the 7-0 score that we have.
And actually, she was also the first the member of the MSI that took down both turrets of Wargods. Alright, so we see the members of Wargods trying to think through in the middle lane. Of course, it won't be very easy, especially with the Trundle and the Caitlyn being able to provide some protection for the tower, including the wave clear coming from Zig.
Yes, so ayan. Tingnan naman natin ang gold, individual gold statistics natin dito. Comparing the ADR 7,000 against 10,000. That is one major item na lamang si Caitlyn dito. And bumilis na po sila, initiation ng clash dito. Lulu forcing her ultimate on herself. Yun nga lang, stronger. And Lulu medyo na nawala sa formation dito. And Wargods unable to respond to the pressure that Team MSI is having right now. At eto na ang mangyayari. Clash yung clash. 3 hits sila blank. Hindi na mabuti kung ano nangyayari. Yun nga lang. Focus fire. Kahit makapalang buhay dito sa ay namatay.
Yeah, good job coming from MSI being able to collapse properly on nowhere to go with that pillar of ice from Trundle blocking his own escape down. Trevor bursting down the KG. Good job coming from LeBlanc. Another chase down another member. Wargods JLC taking down another member of MSI. Hindi pa tapos ang laban. Hinahabol yung Ignite. It was enough to take down LeBlanc.
Namatay
good
sa
job.
Ignite. So nakita mo kanina, papahupain muna natin ang action bago tayo mag-explain kung ano nangyari kanina. JLC and crack the code. Makakrak nga ba si Code ngayon o mabubuhay siya for another day? JLC chasing still. At eto, nawala ang screen. So going back, doon nangyari kanina, doon sa middle turret, ang ganda nung combo, communication from Wargods. Ultimate ni Gragas, sabay sakto, yung combo ni LeBlanc was enough together with the tower hit para ma-isolate si Caitlyn and to kill it for a shutdown. So medyo malaki ang nakuhang ginto doon ni LeBlanc.
That's right. Actually, yun talaga kailangan gawin ng Wargods also on the game. This is the problem now. If Caitlyn is able to pick up some items to prevent that, like the Banshee Slayer, mas mahirapan nila ma-execute yung combo na yun.
So, yan, nakikita. And habang nangyayari yun, Bane, gaya na sabi natin, hindi napapansin, skill farming, nasira niya yung outer bottom turret dito ng Team MSI habang nagpupush ang turret. And makikita niyong mabuti, 191 CS against 207 CS. Although yes, he won si Bane in terms of gold because of the kills of Caitlyn. Nakakahabol na siya because of the CS.
That's right. Well, actually, Vayne not doing so bad. Although he is behind in CS, it's unexpected for Vayne to lose the lane against Caitlyn, especially with the thresh in the lane. But although the CS is only about, it's a little bit over 20, or less than 20 actually rather. Yeah, lumalamang na talaga si Caitlyn ng team fight as members of MSI have a lot of also utility to protect the Caitlyn with the pillar and the mines of Zig.
And so far, ayan nga, pinakamasakit pa rin. Top lane pa rin tayo. 10,000 gold for Gragas because of the 246 CS and 3 kills na nakuha niya against 7,000 by Trundle. So, if you're a tank at hindi ka pa nakakuha ng major item at wala ka pang major item na nabubuo, medyo alanganin ang iyong sitwasyon.
Look at Gragas' items niya. Meron siyang Thornveil, Sunfire Cape, and Spirit Visage. Sobrang tanky niya, especially when you add that to the damage reduction from his Drunken Rage, which reduces even more damage. Talagang sobrang kunat ni God. As you see, chase ni Caitlyn kanina, even with all that item advantage Caitlyn has already, hindi talaga kaya i-take out si God.
Tinatay yung unlock niya. And right now, because of those items, I doubt that JLC would be the priority target. Even though kahit pumasok yan sa loob, the best thing that Wargods could do is bait MSI could do is bait Team Wargods to initiate, especially yung ultimate ni Gragas, and once hopefully, once it doesn't connect, ito na yung signal nila para pumasok.
That's right. Alright, so here we see MSI trying to invade the jungle of Wargods here, and Wargods also going to red buff and decide to go to the mid lane as the minions of MSI are coming to, about to attack rather the turret of Wargods.
At ito naman, another team fight happening dito. Initiation started by MSI at eto na nga ba, medyo alanganin at naiwan mag-isa doon si Pantheon at si Trundle. Rest back dito, nag-focus ang MSI kay Gragas. The biggest mistake that they have right now, and what happened was an ace in favor of Team Wargods.
Yes, actually I have to say JLC again doing so much isolation at the backline that the backline of MSI kept backing off. So when Phantom dropped into the team members of Wargods, naiiwan tuloy siya kasi Phantom just Gragas is solving the whole team of MSI back to the point that when Phantom fell down to the team of Wargods, ayun. And now they pick up the Baron.
Grabe. So nakuha mo na, nakakapag-ace ka na, nakakuha ka pa ng Baron just because, okay, this is not about composition but rather about confidence and play style.
Right.
Okay, sabihin na natin, hindi, Gragas cannot dish out a lot of tons of damage, but his presence was enough for Team MSI to think twice about their objective in the mid lane. And yun nga lang, it was too late when Trundle and Pantheon committed to have a clash. The rest of Team MSI was zoned out by Gragas.
Yes, and the funny thing about it is they really can't hurt Gragas because if you shoot or if you attack rather Gragas, damage will return to you. If you let him stay beside you, you receive damage from Sunfire Cape. So basically everything you do to him will hurt you more than it will hurt him.
In short, wala kang no choice.
Exactly.
Okay, kahit na anong gawin mo, okay, masasaktan ka pag nilapitan si Gragas yung haba na to. Very good play coming from JLC. So far, siya lang ang champion na hindi pa namamatay with a 4-0 and 5 in his belt. And total team gold has now shifted again in favor of Team Wargods. 14-6, 14-12, 16-12 ang score natin, and total team gold difference is about 4,000.
Yeah, actually that ace and Baron actually gave Wargods that boost they needed to get the gold back, gold lead back for the first time since the start of the game.
Pero hindi pa huli ang lahat dito. In the 30-minute mark, this is we're going and transitioning to the late game phase. This is still anybody's game. In the event na ma-overconfident dito si JLC at mag-dive ng malalim at maiwan ang kanyang mga comrades at siya ang maunang ma-burst down at magkaroon ng time mag-reset dito ang Team MSI, napaka-vulnerable ng kanilang mga champions knowing that si Gragas lang.
Yes, and actually I think what KT is doing right now is she's gonna build a bit of the ruin team. Do a little bit more damage and have a little bit more sustain so she can actually hurt Gragas a little more. She already has the last whisper and the blood blister. And all she needs now is a bit of the Ruin King to deal enough damage to at least somewhat penetrate some of that armor that Gragas has here.
So nakita natin completely Crack the Code has gone from an offensive stance to a purely defensive stance. Kaya kumuha na siya ng kanyang Randuin, if I'm not mistaken. And initiation coming from Pantheon habang nasa Core ang Wargods nisira to. And follow-up K6 and a flash happening right now. Ito na ang nakikita natin sa screen natin. Napakaganda. Which is hard at its finest. Wargods versus MSI. Ito alanganin ang Team MSI dito. Masyadong matagal bumabad sa Core. Pero Bane, free hit pa rin. Polymorph, TNC is slowly going down one by one. What will happen tonight? 4-for-1 exchange, shut down, and ace again for Team Wargods.
That was incredible. I really thought that this was going to be the first Wargods JLC and that Dragon, but because of the shield coming from Lulu, he still survived that, and nabaliktad pa nila because Vayne is able to free hit for so long.
Ang tagal ng free hit ni Vayne doon. Nasa sidelines lang, hindi napapansin. And Poy, good job coming from Wargods Poy, picking out and using the polymorph when needed. Saktong-sakto yung pagkakakast ng polymorph. Kasi nilapitan si Vayne and ginawa niya, oops, teka lang, maging kuneho ka muna. Panoorin mo ang laban at ayun na nangyari. As a reward, they got an ace and they destroyed not just the inhibitor turret, but as well as the inhibitor.
Yes.
Grabe. So medyo nag-shift na talaga completely yung momentum dito sa Wargods. Kanina, early game was the advantage of Team MSI. They were able to shut down the late aggressiveness of the mid lane, the bot lane. Yun nga lang, top lane was not that well preserved, and the jungle has been, although napipigilan din, the jungle had the opportunity to rotate. And once they were ready, once Bane has enough items and has farmed, go signal na to, go na tayo. And Wargods just steamrolling through Team MSI right now.
I was actually surprised that they were very aggressive at Wargods because they still had the fire buff at that time, and since Gragas is already so tanky, that fire buff definitely helped boosted the tankiness of Gragas. Right, so here we are. This time Wargods decided to rotate in top lane as they're trying to take out the last outer third of MSI here in the top lane. Gragas stacking all the damage coming from jungle, not receiving that much damage in return. As you can see, Gragas is just really so tanky right now. There isn't too much that they can do to stop these Gragas right now.
Grabe. So ito, forced to on a defensive mode dito ang Team MSI, knowing that nakita nila in 2 clashes that they could be wiped out by Team Wargods. And speaking of wipe out, masyadong mabilis ang mga pangyayari, napakabilis ang daliri si Trevor dito, nalusaw si Caitlyn, at yun nga lang, Mega Inferno, bam! Siya rin ay nalusaw sa kamay ni Sping. However, another clash happening right now under the turret. Tingnan natin kung talagang i-commit to ng Team Wargods. Medyo alanganin si Zulu, nahuli ng death sentence, patay sa Torre, but Bane still 3 hit dito mga kaibigan. Ang sakit ng damage niya, isang tira na lang. Ngunit, subalit natapot na stun dito ni Memories. Ngunit si Memories pa ang namatay, and wawawi. 6 na lang ang natitirang buhay sa Team MSI. Ano kaya ang mangyayari? Gumamit ng kanyang satchel charge para makalayo.
I think this might be game. This might be game.
Wow. Grabe.
JLC tanking 3 champions and the turret, allowing them to hit over the whole team of MSI, and looks like this will definitely be a game for Wargods.
Lesson learned. Okay, huwag ka magbibiro sa taong nakainom, especially pag si Gragas. Hindi mo kayang basagin yan ng ganun kadali. Okay, good job coming from Team Wargods though. Although, ayan, medyo, ayan, nakikita natin nabubuhay sa chatroom yung yung mga fans natin for Team Wargods. Ayan, kudos pa rin for Team MSI for putting up a very, very good and clean fight. So, recap tayo. Okay, early game, it was supposed to be the advantage of Wargods, but they didn't utilize it. And then, Team MSI took the opportunity and grabbed it, and they had a slight advantage, especially in the bot lane.
Actually, the Wargods, they were actually winning in CS in all lanes except bottom lane.
Except bottom lane.
Pero in terms of push, naunahan sila ng MSI, which is weird because, like you said, mas objective based on Wargods, pero they weren't able to do it that effectively.
Yes. And it started that MSI had a little bit more advantage when they got the dragon. Yun nga lang, when they pushed the mid lane, masyado silang, that's when Gragas was shining. So siya na talaga
sobrang kunat na niya kasi.
Sa sobrang kunat niya, na nasa psych out ka na kung ikaw yung player, parang ang laki mo, ayoko na. Takbo ka, and then
parang tinapon mo na lahat, parang wala pa rin nangyari. Ano to?
Parang champion ka ba talaga? Hindi, joke lang. So yun yung nangyari, good plays coming from both teams. Yun nga lang, Wargods was what happened was Wargods went ahead by 2 steps against Team MSI dun sa nangyari kanina.
Alright, so I'd just like to shout out to Wargods JLC. I think he should be the MVP again.
Yes, again.
Being so effective, winning lane for his team.
Sa lahat na nagtatanong bakit MVP si JLC, okay, 309 CS, 7-0-12 na score. Pag yan, hindi pa MVP, ewan ko na lang. Pero yan, we have to give credit as well to Vayne and sa Team MSI for Caitlyn for the early game dominance.
Yes,
okay,
right.
So good job, good game, and we'll have
interview.
Yes,
with our MVP.
So bago daw ang interview, we'll have a short break. Huwag kayong aalis. Again, this is still game 1 of the games that we have today. When we come back, may interviewin kami coming from Wargods. So again, this is Kajo. And I'm with Jay. We'll be right back.
Hi, good evening mga summoners, and right here beside me is one of the players from Wargods. He's the ADR, or siya yung naglaro ng Vayne sa previous laban natin, and right here beside me is Wargods Ochi. Hi!
Hi!
Anong pangalan mo, kuya?
RC Pascual.
RC Pascual. And then, on the previous game, we can see medyo na-dominate ka ng konti ni Caitlyn, no? How did you come up with the idea of, fighting against her?
Nagulat kasi kami dun sa gank ni Panchon ng early, kaya medyo nalugi kami sa laning phase. So, ginawa namin, nag-split push na lang kami para makahabol ako ng konti sa farming.
Nakita ko nga habang nasa gitna si Caitlyn, nasa mid siya, tapos ikaw naghumahabol ka sa creep kill eh. And then, tingin nyo, ano yung, nakita naman natin na very dominant yung team nyo. Pero ano sa tingin mo yung laban na nagpapanalo talaga sa inyo?
Bali yung sa clash sa mid, yung nahuli nila yung Caitlyn. So, wala na silang, -1 na sila agad.
Na-zone out.
Na-zone out, tapos ako nakapush ako sa bottom. So, objectives lang.
Objective-wise. So, sinunod nyo lang talaga yung objective nyo. Parang, laban lang, trabaho lang. Push lang. Alright, good job. And then, afterwards, thank you so much. May gusto ko bang sabihin sa mga fans nyo dyan? Nakita ko maraming nag-chat sa inyo sa Twitch.
Binabati ko yung si Sir Ryan Lai, tsaka si Madam. Tsaka thank you sa Wargods, tsaka sa mga nanonood.
Alright, thank you. And then, mga ka-summoners, stay tuned lang kayo. May susunod pa tayong laban. Thank you.